What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CanesInSight Daily Podcast, powered by Shamar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Huge show today, major recruiting news for a big recruiting weekend. I'll give you the bank with the absolute latest I am hearing. First, before we get into that stuff, just really wanted to express our thoughts and our prayers to the family of Mark Fletcher Sr., of course, his son, a great running back for the Miami Hurricanes. More importantly, a beloved teammate, just a great character guy. And many people have seen his dad at games, at events, interacting. Nothing but great things to say about Mark Fletcher Sr. from people who have met him, who have known him at these games, and just a horrible tragedy with him passing away this week. And our prayers are with the family of Mark Fletcher Sr. So switching gears to less serious topic, the recruiting weekend here at Miami, a stacked one, a lot of big name players on campus this weekend, class of 25, class of 26. We will be giving you the absolute latest on all these guys. The bank put it out on CanesInsight.com, 7 million posts and counting, so you could read that for free on the website. I wanted to give you guys just some of the big picture items from that recruiting update and from this information, which again is as direct as I can give it to you. And that is the wide receiver position I never heard it more optimistic from a recruiting standpoint that I am hearing right now in terms of where we are at with that class. Of course, the big names, Vernell Brown, 5-star player. I don't know if he's ranked 5-star. He's certainly a 5-star in our internal evaluation. Dallas Wilson, I know, is a 5-star player. Miami trending well for both of these players. Vernell Brown committed to Florida. Dallas Wilson committed to Oregon. I'm not predicting flips or anything like that. I'm saying that these guys are noticing what is happening with Miami's offense, with guys like Xavier Restrepo, with guys like Isaiah Horton, and how they would fit into this offense as premier players. This is the first time Miami's had an offensive product to really sell teams on. And with Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson, Miami will have the ability to sell, and that momentum with both is very much real. Also, JoJo Trader, Nikar, who are on campus right now, I'm hearing that these guys are pushing for playing time in a major way. You could see both of these guys sooner than later on the field in an extended role. The top four are playing great, but these guys are doing so many things in practice that you may see these guys sooner than later on this 2024 version of the Canes. By the way, I almost forgot, Pete, hop in.
You also forgot Shamar and Levine, man.
I was gonna get that one. I didn't forget. I was trying to set that one up, but you were I forgot about my man Pete standing about 5 feet from me. So Pete, thanks for hopping in. Let's talk about Shamar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Shamar and Levine. So I gave the quick update here, which is that we are trending very well with those two players. Let's talk about them one by one here. So Vernell Brown, pull up the highlights here.
I got his highlights planned right here. This is junior year. So
he's having an even better year here as a senior with Darian Coleman, the 2026 Miami Hurricane quarterback commit, which, by the way, I heard he is, I know he is because I'm watching the highlights. I track the stats, but I know Miami's ecstatic about how he's playing, how he looks, how he presents himself. A lot of Cam Ward comparisons internally. You heard his quarterback coach, big Canes fan, Balin Trujillo. He compared him to Cam Ward. I see the similarities in terms of the arm angles and things like that, and the just the quick instincts, the quick eyes. But internally, a lot of comparisons to Cam Ward from Darian Coleman. But of course, his top receiver is this man right here, Vernell Brown. All I could say is Miami has as high a grade as possible on him. Whatever the recruiting rankings are on Vernell Brown, and he's a highly ranked player, Miami's ranking on him internally is higher, and there is momentum. You saw Steve Wilfong on 3 reporting that, Vernell Brown seeing what Restrepo's doing and seeing how that could fit into his game. I'm hearing the same exact thing. There's real momentum here. Look, Florida's doing some nice things. DJ Lagway's producing. I expect them to go on a little losing streak here. So our momentum is trending up with Vernell Brown. Right at the same time, Florida's momentum is about to take a nosedive, theoretically, if they lose all the games they're projected to lose in these next few weeks. So keep an eye on the Vernell Brown situation. Again, I'm not saying, hey, flip is happening right now. I'm saying there's real momentum here with this player who Miami could not have a higher grade on internally for reasons you're seeing on film also professional. Pete, you interviewed him for CanesInSight. What was your impression when you talked to him?
Yeah, man, it's funny because we talk so much of the wide receiver position about speed, size, ball skills, route running, all that. But you have been on for years now about how important it is to have the character at that position, it's a working position, right? That, we've seen so many talented receivers at Miami over the years that we try to figure out why they didn't cut it, why didn't end up making it, where we thought they could. And at the end of the day, this kid right here, when you talk about his professionalism, and I was so impressed when I interviewed him, and he was doing a little media tour before he made his announcement. But the way he handled the whole process, and look, at the time we figured he was probably going to Florida, but the way he handled questions, the way everything was just set up, he has a real team around him. And I think with these high profile high school kids, a lot of times having yourself surrounded by the right people is so important. And it seems like he has that definitely, under wraps. So came away very, very impressed. I think this is a guy that wherever he ends up is a day one impact player. But at Miami, I think he's plug and play without a doubt.
Yeah, we talked about a million times, just like you said, how important the tangibles are to receiver. I also think play strength is very important to receiver. That's been proven. You see a guy like Vernell Brown in person, he's put together. He's kind of like Restrepo in that he works on his body. He cares about being strong. He doesn't just rely on his athletic ability. He knows you need to be strong and durable to play at the next level and beyond. So that's why he is so good. I mean, at least it appears to be good at taking care of his body. I don't know what his habits are, but just looking at him, the guy looks like he's well advanced beyond a high school senior. So that makes up for some of the not being 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". He's strong. He's not short. He's not like 5'7", but for not being a 6 foot plus receiver, he's very well put together. I have zero concerns there. And all the punt returning stuff, that's a very nice projector of how guys are going to play at the next level punt returning, because it shows your toughness, your ability to make guys miss right in front of you, which is very similar to the releases you have at the line. Just short area quickness in general, balance in general. You got to track the ball. He's an excellent punt returner as well. Would be Miami's probably best punt returner from day one. So a lot to like with Vernell Brown. That's why Miami is so high on him internally. That's why Miami's pushing so hard. And there's very good momentum with this player.
Yeah, complete wide receivers. One thing I noticed in those punt returns too is he doesn't let the ball come into his body. He's going out there and he's snatching it. And I mean, I think you see a lot of guys, a lot of young returners, and you see muff punts, stuff like that. I don't think there would be any issue with this guy. He's absolutely dynamic.
Switching gears to a different body type, but another highly rated player from the state of Florida, Vernell Brown from Orlando. Now moving west just a little bit to Tampa, where Dallas Wilson just received his 5th star from 247, I believe. He's been a major target for many, 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 many months, probably multiple years, from Tampa Tech. Now transferred, still at Tampa Tech. He is an Oregon commit, and he's having a really, really good senior year. Look at the size of this guy. Much different player physically than a Vernell Brown. There you see him with the jump ball. He is part of Team Raw, coached by Coach Duasso. That sounds familiar. You've seen me wear the Raw shirts on the podcast. You've seen me have Coach Duasso on the show. That's Ben Hanks, who we'll talk about in a second. That's Hilton Stubbs, who's a Miami Hurricane commit. Bryce Fitzgerald, who's a Miami Hurricane commit. Amari Wallace is a Miami Hurricane commit. Ezekiel Marcelin, a Miami Hurricane commit. So a lot of Team Raw talent in this class. Miami would love to add to it with Dallas Wilson, who, again, you watch these are senior highlights here, and these are the highlights that earned him that 5th star. Returning punts at his size. This is a big, big, imposing guy, probably similar to Isaiah Horton as far as someone on the team right now, body-wise. Maybe not as tall as Horton, but not that far apart. Definitely strong and different than Vernell Brown. I think Vernell Brown's more polished and ready to go. This guy is just a physical phenom here with his strength and acceleration.
And we can't forget who Miami already has committed at the position, and Josh Moore, another big body receiver. So you pair Dallas Wilson with him, and you've got a couple physical specimens there that, there was a lot of talk when Colby Young transferred out about who's going to be that big body receiver to step up. Obviously, Isaiah Horton's done a really good job of that this season. You see his downfield blocking here as well, which is something that we've seen from all of the Miami receivers this season. And I think it's, it's a telltale sign of a guy who has all the traits to be really, really special at the next level.
And look, people are going to be seeing this like, oh, were you saying that Miami's about to flip Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson? We're not saying that. What I'm saying is Miami is making very positive progress with Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson. The success on the field has a lot to do with that. People were waiting for that to manifest. And you are seeing, when you have the number one offense in the country, top receivers like Dallas Wilson, like Vernell Brown, are going to look at you a little bit different, especially when you are so close to home and have such a great history behind you with young talent already on the roster to grow with. So keep an eye on these two players on the offensive end. Switching gears to the defensive backfield. Look, a lot of focus on DJ Pickett, and I talked about DJ Pickett a little bit in the update. I think he's going to eventually land in Miami. He'll be visiting this weekend. So many family ties between Cannon Pickett, who Miami really, really likes in the class of 26, between Booker Pickett, who committed in the class of 24 and is on campus right now. Uncles, it's the whole family tree with Miami. I think ultimately he's going to come to Miami. He's harder to read. A lot of people didn't expect him to go to LSU when he did, in the business, outside the business. So it's hard to say, but I do think Miami will get DJ Pickett. But the name that I'm hearing the most momentum with, and who's right there with Pickett as a 5-star top of the board type of talent, Ben Hanks, cornerback out of Booker T, having an outstanding senior year. So, I mean, this is a guy he plays receiver. He plays a cornerback. He was a baseball player. He's got a perfect game profile when you go to Max Preps. I love those multi-sport guys. But look, his ability to intercept in coverage. We saw him at the Under Armour camp. He was undercutting routes, but without gambling. His coverage is so tight, and his ball skills are so good, and his length is so good that he's able to stay disciplined, stay in phase, cover guys, and still intercept the ball just because he has that kind of ability, length, and ball skills. He's not someone who's got to jump routes in a dangerous fashion. He's going to get beat on double moves, who's just going to kill. There he is watching the quarterback, but it's not just in zone coverage. He can do it in man coverage as well. He is somebody who's really, really special from a just instinct standpoint. Everything you want at a corner with the size, the length. He's got to put some weight on, but that's really the only thing you say. The ball skills, the speed. He tested very well at the Under Armour Combine. The production, he's been doing it at a high level in Dade County. Multiple pick sixes, tons of INTs. He catches touchdowns as well as a receiver. I don't know what to say about this guy other than, to me, he's the best player in South Florida, and I don't think I've seen a better corner down here since probably Patrick Surtain. Maybe I'm missing someone, Pete. If I could be in the comments. If I'm missing something, let me know. But from what I'm seeing with Hanks, I see the best corner down here since Surtain, and a must get for Miami. Gator legacy, Gator commit. Miami's making progress here.
And notice who he's playing against here in these highlights, making these plays against Central, Northwestern, 2 pick sixes against Northwestern. Really smooth for his size, D. You're obviously always looking for that length, that corner, but it usually comes with some clunkiness. That's not the case whatsoever here. The way he changes direction is really impressive. Gonna need to add some weight. I think that's something that, will come. We saw with OJ Frederick, he added about 18, 20 pounds in the few months before the season when he got on campus. But he's looking to score every time he gets the football. So I agree with you. As a prospect, I haven't seen many really on his level. And look, another play here, another block punt. It's incredible what he can do.
Yeah. So we talked about the need for talent in the defensive backfield. Miami is really, really striving to address that this year. Ben Hanks, top of the board type talent. And I'm not saying a flip is imminent from Florida. What I'm saying is Miami's momentum with Ben Hanks is real. And I'm hearing different kinds of momentum than I heard in the past. Balancing with some negative news, Miami and Tim Merritt, the cornerback safety, playing quarterback now out of Birmingham. I think those two sides are drifting apart. I wouldn't be surprised if he falls out of this class. Miami would like to add, Shamar Arno, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Arnoux out of Carrollton, Georgia. Similarly built corner to Merritt. Also has safety versatility, physical, fluid guy from Carrollton, Georgia, committed to USC. He's a 4-star player. He's visiting this weekend. Miami's going to want to get an up-close look at him, meet the family, but they have significant interest there, and I'm sure it'll be a mutual kind of evaluation process, as these visits always are. Underrated part of the process is the visit. People always think the visit's the last part, but the visit is part of the process for both sides. So I think they're going to they're excited to get Arno on campus and see what he's got and see what his interest is in the program. Switching gears here to the portal a little bit, I want to mention this. Miami's looking to get about 8 to 10, maybe more, probably about 10 is the number I'd watch, impact guys all throughout the roster in the portal. They want to get guys like last year where they're impact players, not just guys to fill spots. But one change you might see, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami gets a few guys with multiple years of eligibility, guys like Caleb Downs, not him personally, right? But guys that are in that scenario where for whatever reason they want to change their premium big ticket items and they want to go to a place where they know it's hot. Ohio State was the beneficiary with Caleb Downs. They have, decades of proven program production, right? Miami with this year and this season now is elevating where it stands nationally. They've been doing good in the portal with guys like Cam Ward and David Martinez, but now they're really showing that they're a stable location for the future and present. So I think they're going to be in play for, again, I don't know who the next Caleb Downs is that comes available, but guys like that with multiple years of eligibility, defensive back, defensive line, even offensive line, guys come available at those spots with multiple years. I could see Miami making a play there. So keep an eye on that as the portal season starts to cook up. Of course, CanesInsight.com. We got 7 million posts and counting for free. You could track all of that there. Before we get to 2026, Pete, why don't you talk about some assets here that could be benefit you in 26, could benefit you in 25. These are tremendous assets to talk about and to learn about. Tell us about, Pete.
Yeah, so I want to talk about our friends at Asset Dash, the only app you need in crypto. You see the QR code right here, scan to download. And again, limited time offer, enter the code CANES, all caps at sign up, and you will receive an upgraded premium Asset Dash Gold membership free for life. Again, CANES, all caps. And Asset Dash is the market-leading portfolio tracker and rewards program where you can do everything from tracking your investments, earning rewards, and now buying over 1,000 different cryptocurrencies on Solana natively through the app. Again, Asset Dash giving away thousands of dollars a week through the app. You earn additional coins when buying through the app, assetdash.com. Download Asset Dash for all your portfolio tracking needs, crypto, NFTs, and stocks. If you invest in something, Asset Dash supports it.
So going a little bit in the future here to 2026, this is a huge visit weekend for 2026 players. I'm told one thing with this 2026 class that stands out is the trenches, right? So some names to keep an eye on in the trenches. These are, again, 26 players. So juniors now, seniors next year. Rodney Cleveland, defensive tackle out of Birmingham, Alabama. Big-time player visiting soon. Brett College, interior lineman from IMG. Kinye Pepe, another big offensive tackle, Polynesian from IMG. See the connection there. Interior lineman Cannon Pickett. We know about him from Tampa. That Pickett name, we just heard about it a second ago. Ryan Moret, interior lineman from Miami Southridge. Great wrestler. Tough kid. You mentioned his dad is a very well-known guy locally. I know your dad went to Southridge.
Yes, class of 79, baby.
So this, those down south guys that can wrestle are a different breed. And he's one of my favorite guys to watch on tape. Defensive lineman that converted to interior offensive line. Jackson Cantwell, superstar tackle out of Nixa, Missouri. Grant Wise, name sounds familiar. Son of Ty Wise, former Cane out of Pace, Florida. Also some really good running backs on the board, including a couple that are visiting this weekend. Javian Osborne from Dallas, Texas is a big name, top 100 player that will be on campus. And I wanted to mention another one here, which is Tredarian Bell. Oregon commit from Texarkana, so right there on the Texas-Arkansas border. This is a major speedster, runs 100 meters in the 10s easily. Look at the easy speed here and coordination.
Angles, man.
He's an Oregon commit. He's visiting this weekend. He's from Texarkana, so it's not like he's committed to Texas or Texas A&M or some kind of local tie there that you're trying to pry from. Oregon's the kind of team you want to recruit against. I mean, look, they're number one in the country, so you don't like that aspect of it, but at least you're not fighting location. Look at the open field moves from this guy. He is visiting this weekend. Miami would love to just increase the explosiveness in the running back room. Not that they don't have guys ready with Chris Johnson and Jared Pringle from class of 25 that can go, but you always want big players, especially when you have big play players, especially when you have a running back. Offensive line is going to open up holes. A guy like this can take those 5-yard gains and make them 50-yard touchdowns, as you see here. Also helps in the return game. Really exciting player. It's going to be on campus to watch guys like Martinez, Fletcher, Chris Johnson perform on Saturday. And again, I know the 26 class is far away, but this guy was mentioned very quickly to me as a name to watch of the folks who are in attendance here on Saturday.
And these are his sophomore highlights, D. So we'll see what those junior highlights look like, but really impressive. We see him at running back here, also is lined up at wide receiver. So Would love to get another versatile weapon offensively, of course. A couple years away, but I mean, he just eats up space in a hurry.
Texas, man, they got good running backs. I mean, look, Ashton Jeanty, I mean, it doesn't get too much better than him. He was not even a highly rated guy like this, but also someone with some receiving skill.
Look, he's got the hold on a second. I gotta rewind this. He's got the Ashton Jeanty.
The stance.
Yeah, look at this.
There it is. It's catching on.
But this was from last year, so I don't know. Maybe he watched some old clips of him.
It's a Texas thing, I guess. But yeah, you see I mean, look at the speed of this guy. So this is the kind of player that Miami's bringing to campus here for 26. They want this thing to keep building and building. One of the themes with the 25 recruiting, the transfer portal recruiting, it's just intense evaluation, intense scrutiny on these kids. Miami wants the absolute best. They always want the absolute best, right? But when you're in a position of power, the higher you get up in credibility, the more you can demand the best and not have to make exceptions just because you have to. Now you have the ability to be truly discerning and still get what you need to fill out the class. So Miami Hurricanes really being discerning in the 25 class, 26 class, and looking for national championship caliber players, and also through the portal. And I think given where they are as a program, best recruiter in the country with Mario Cristobal, I do believe they will be able to land some of these guys. And by the way, I should have said this up front. We're talking about recruiting, Miami FSU week. We got a ton of Miami FSU content in the bank. Not the recruiting bank, in the metaphorical bank. We got them here in the YouTube channel. You can check them out. Got the interview with Clay Fink, FSU expert. We broke it down with Mike Ryan on the live show. We got a ton of stuff talking about the Miami FSU game. So if you want some of that specific Miami FSU content, just dig into the channel, like and subscribe to this show. You'll see it. We're keeping a recruiting focus here. But today we will give you a little bit of Miami FSU with our Beacon Adjusters Player of the Game. We do this every week. We just try to project the player of the game on Friday and then tell you the player of the game on Monday. I feel like I've picked Ruben Bain every single week since he came back, so I'm not going to get into that. But I do think he's probably going to have like 2 or 3 sacks. But Beacon Adjusters, look, if your property's been affected by Hurricane Helene or Hurricane Milton or any other storm, Beacon Adjusters Group is here to help with years of experience handling storm-related damages. We work tirelessly to ensure you get the compensation you deserve. From assessment to settlement, our team of trusted experts will guide you every step of the way. Don't face the aftermath alone. Let Beacon Adjusters Group restore your peace of mind. Call us today, 954-466-4224. All right, so, Beacon Adjusters Player of the Game. I'm going to go with someone that might not appear on the stat sheet, but I think is going to be absolutely critical to this game, and that is Francis Mauanoa, the right tackle for the Miami Hurricanes. Miami has some of the best tackles in the game. We know that. They have some of the most physical tackles in the game. Jalen Rivers, Francis Mauanoa, these are powerful guys, big guys, bigger than the average ACC tackle by a lot, certainly more athletic, more powerful, more NFL ability. FSU, they have the 20th ranked pass rush in the country statistically. They can get after it, but their weakness is physical strength on the edge. Marvin Jones, Patrick Payton, these are not run defenders. They've been terrible all year defending the run. I don't think that they're particularly mentally strong guys. You've seen some of the stuff that they pulled throughout the season and the offseason as a defensive line as a whole. Plus, you don't have depth on that defensive line. So if you can really pound this first team, I think they'll quit physically, and then I think you'll have to bring in the backups who will suffer because there's just not a lot of depth on this FSU team, as you saw when the starters extorted Mike Norvell for more money in the offseason, knowing that the backups weren't any good. So don't want to play into their hand by just pass, let them rush. Pound them. Get some outside stretch runs with Damian Martinez. He loves that play where he can make a sharp upfield cut, get around that tackle. Have Francis Mauanoa dominating Payton, dominating Marvin Jones. Same thing on the other side with Jalen Rivers. You have tight ends as well if you need to beef up that edge, who can really run block and are probably better run blockers than these defensive ends are run defenders. That's a mismatch for the tight end against FSU, which is not always the case when a tight end's blocking a big defensive end. So I'd like to see that. And you set up the pass with that. Francis Mauanoa is my Beacon Adjusters predicted player of the game.
I've been D-line heavy on a lot of these picks, D, and I'm going to go with Simeon Barrow. We've seen him have game-wrecking moments at times this year. Louisville, he had some big plays. Cal, he had some big moments as well. And we've seen it, but just listening to Clay talk yesterday about the offensive line, there's not much confidence whatsoever there on the offensive line for Florida State. And I just think that Barrow is gonna build on what we saw last week. And I think, look, this is we have to understand these are now, we're in the second half of the season. Everything here is being looked at by the NFL scouts. I think this is a huge opportunity for him, even though it's Florida State is not the same Florida State, but it's still one of those games that scouts are going to turn on that tape and look a little more closely into. And I think he understands that. I think a sack or two in this game, a couple tackles for loss for him, and I think he comes out at firing away.
I like the pick. I think FSU's offensive line is terrible. Interior line is actually probably better than their tackles. So maybe that's a matchup to watch, is can they get anything going against Simeon Barrow? But I like how Simeon Barrow's been playing. I agree with you, Pete. FSU's running back is the worst, or FSU's running game, is the worst running game in Power 4. According to the stats, they're going to need to lean on that running game because they have a young quarterback. So could this be the game where they break out? Obviously, Lance Guidry hopes it is not. Simeon Barrow is a big reason why I think Miami will be able to shut down FSU's running game and then force these young passers. Luke K, when we try to pronounce his last name, Brock Glenn, who'll be starting, force those guys to pass, then force the tackles to block Ruben Bain and Tyler Barron, which we all know will be a big mismatch for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep, agreed. Guys, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I don't think we've said it today, D, and we gotta say it more, like you said yesterday. So like and subscribe.
One thing I want to say, Pete, big event happening on Sunday. So after the Canes beat the Knowles, you wake up, you get your breakfast, head down to the Miami Hurricane team store right next to the Thesis Hotel on S Dixie Highway, across the street from the University of Miami. And they have an unbelievable event going on with Lynn Kidd, Matthew Cleveland, Nigel Pack. The 3 top players on the Miami Hurricanes basketball team will be there live Sunday, October 27th. So Sunday, right after the game, 2 to 3 p.m. Watch the highlights of Miami's win over FSU. Drink your coffee, eat your breakfast, and then head over there for some autographs. Use promo code INSIGHT20 at the store. You get 20% off your first item. Tons of exclusive gear, basketball, baseball, and of course, all kinds of football gear. They got authentic jerseys there as well. Cam Ward replicas, the #1 football and basketball. So you get the Cam Ward basketball jersey as well. So a lot of stuff going on at the Miami Hurricane team store. If you can't be there in person, MiamiHTS.com. Promo code INSIGHT20 works on there as well. So it's game weekend, ready to go. I think recruiting is going to be just as hot as the game. Hopefully the game is what we think it's going to be, so the recruits have a good show. We'll be bringing it to you all day on CanesInSight.com. Trenton Breeze already cracking out stories. Pete, we'll do a post game, I think. Maybe we'll do it on location. We'll have to talk about that. Yeah, you're gonna be in person there. So
it's a big game when I show my face, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it live tomorrow morning just to get guys their game day takes off. But I appreciate you joining us. Like and subscribe to this podcast. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Yeah. This an insight to the Canes, and you know we ain't playing no games. Joaquin said dominate, so that's what we do. Home of the legends and 7th floor crew. Down in Miami where hurricanes brew. You here for the rumors, we bring you the news. Cause it's all about the you, and nobody do it like CanesInSight. 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 It's CanesInSight.